Yeah, Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all of you. Okay, today I'm going to share about the nature and purpose of accounting on the part 2. Okay, so for this learning objective in this video, the first thing you're able to explain the responsibility of auditor and also the management, explain the demand for the editing, and last one is about the how much the type of audit we have. Okay, next is about the responsibility of auditor. So as we know, auditor responsibility is just want to state an opinion about the reliability of financial statements. And the second thing, private reasonable assurance about financial statement are free from material misstatement. There is no error, there is no lacking information, and during the work, the auditor must perform their work in the due care and fully of integrity. The management responsibility, that is they have to prepare all the financial statement in the yearly financial statement. The second one, maintain the proper accounting records, and third one, safeguard about the company asset, and last one, prevent and detection of error for any frauds. That is responsibility. Okay. Okay, this one is the flow of the overview in the financial statement audit. We have the both party, which is management and also the auditor. So once the both party make the term of engagement or they have agreement to make the audit process, so this one implement internal control, conduct transaction and accumulate a transaction into account balance. That is all the responsibility of management, and they have to prepare a financial statement. So this part is the part of auditor to get or to accumulate the evidence about the financial statement. So after the management finish to prepare financial statement, so that management have to give the assertion or assurance about the financial statement, true and fair view, and follow all the standard. So from that assertion, the main auditor will test about the management assertion, like test a balance, test a detail of the transaction, and determine either that financial statement are fairly presented or not fairly presented, comply with the MFRS standard. So after that, after the auditor finish make the audit process and evaluate all the information in the financial statement, they have to issue an audit report and communicate that audit report to the management. And once the management receive the opinion from the auditor, so that is the finished process, then this management can present or disclose all the financial statement to the shareholder or board of director during the annual general meeting. So this one is the demand for auditing. So we just have to demand for auditing. As we know, auditing is one of the requirement in regulation. So what is the regulation require? All the company registered in Malaysia, they have to prepare the financial report, and that financial report must be audited. So that are under Company Act requirement 2016 for company to undergo an examination by the external auditor. Okay, the next demand for auditing process is because of the external party in the business, like a shareholder. So they want to know the performance of their investment in the business. Bondholder is like the our they buy our liability, like the debentures holder, they invest but in the loan capital, so they still want to know the performance of their investment. And also some there are potential investor that is party that interested about the financial statement have been audited. Okay, next we go to the type of audit. So in this type of audit, we can classify the audit into 6 type of audit, which is financial statement, compliant audit, operational audit, tax, Sharia, and last is public sector audit. So we can go one by one. Okay, the first type of audit is financial statement audit. So this audit are conducted to determine whether your overall financial statement are quantifiable information and follow all the specific criteria under MFRS. So normally this audit process will be done by the external auditor. So this perform appropriate test to determine whether the statement are contain material error or misstatement. Ada kesalahan ataupun tidak ada kesalahan, or free from material misstatement. There are two approach for the financial statement audit. Number one is integrated approach to auditing. So this process is focusing on the accounting transaction. And the second, we call it as a strategic system audit approach. This one, auditor have go through understanding about the entity environment, or they have to study about the business industry, about the business risk during in the market. Okay. Okay, next is about the compliant audit. So this compliant audit are conducted to determine whether the client is following specific procedure, rules or regulations set by the some higher authority. For example, MQA, kan? For example, you want to, that organization, they want to get the certification for the MQA. So that MQA auditor will go to the site and see either the organization has fulfilled or not fulfilled all the requirements set by the MQA. So instead of MQA, maybe another example about the ISO. So ISO, maybe the organization, they want to get a certification for the ISO. So ISO, they have set the regulations and some procedure to be fulfilled in order for that organization ISO give the certification to the business. So if that company follow all the regulation, all the standards, so they will get the certification. So normally this compliant audit are generally reported to the organization, someone in the organization unit being audited rather than to the outside party. Okay, next number 3 is about the operational or management performance. So this audit is a systematic review about the organization activity or part of them in relation to the efficient and effectiveness, how the organization use resources. Okay, so normally once the auditor make the audit process, this auditor will give a recommendation or suggestion to management how the management improve their operations, and this will be reported to the management parties. So normally this kind of audit have been done by the internal auditor for the company or someone external auditor that are hired by the organization. So this operational audit not limited just review in accounting part. Sometimes this audit can be reviewed in terms of organizational structure, about the system, computer system in the business, and sometimes in the marketing part. That is operational management audit. They just want to see either that organization is efficient or not efficient to manage their resources, and normally done by the internal auditor. Okay, this is a part of the operational management performance audit. It can be 3 part, which is functional audit, organizational audit, and special assignment audit. Functional audit is about the category activity of the business, like you want to see the function of billing, function of payroll, function either they are functional good or not good. And then organizational audit emphasize on how the efficiently and effectively that function interact together. And last, special assignment, they are arise based on the request on the management. Let's say some issue happen in the organization, so they are lacking of the system, so they will be asked for the audit. Okay, next is forensic audit. So these forensic audit are special. They are for detection or difference in wide variety for fraudulent activity. For example, it just focusing on white collar crime, for the black money crime, and sometimes if you memorize of, if you know about the case of Aman Shah, so that is one of the forensic audit involved. So what is the example for forensic audit? Sometimes they are fraud in the business, criminal investigation, like there are black money or white collar crime like the one MDB, shareholder and partnership disputed, ada pergaduhan, there are shareholder and partnership, there are economic losses in the business, the huge economic losses, and sometimes it's matrimonial disputes ni harta sepencarian. Next is tax audit. So this tax audit is need to conduct audit tax aroused when annual tax evaluation were made a responsibility of the business. So this one, nowadays there are self-assessment audit. So most of the like us, so maksudnya orang yang dah bekerja macam kami ni, kami akan isi the form untuk bayar tax for every year. So normally kita, once we, sebab kita self assessment, kita yang isi sendiri all the form, and Someone there are manager or tax authority, they can take randomly. So they want to ask, let's say we claim we have the lifestyle 3,000, so maximum 3,000 kita buat. So dia minta lah all the receipt, all the book receipt, all the book. If you buy the laptops, they want to see the receipt. Sometimes they akan randomly ask the people and submit the document. Kalau tak ada kena audit, tak adalah. Next is Sharia compliant audit. It's about the Sharia compliance. So like Security Commission and Bank Negara are authority to conduct Sharia and audit Sharia compliance. Let's say most of our financial institution in Malaysia, they want to get a certification for Sharia compliance. So sometimes they show that is a for Sharia audit. Sharia requirement in addition to regular standard requirement that governing organization. Last one is public sector audit. So this audit will be carried out by the public sector auditor or government auditor. They want to see either the audit of expenditure are conducted similar to the audit financial statement. So normally they are focusing on the public sector untuk government agency, either the agency fully follow all the procedure in the expenditure procedure. So this report is prepared end of the year and presented to the king at parliament by the auditor. So that is the audit in public sector. So this one is the type of audit. If you see, we have internal audit and external audit. So compliance audit and performance audit normally done by the internal auditor. External audit is focusing on financial statement and tax audit. Maksudnya orang luar yang akan audit. And Sharia audit and public sector audit normally can be done on the both parties, sometimes by the internal auditor and sometimes by the external auditor. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you. Happy reading to all of you.